So let us start the class now. Today we are going to discuss about constructors. Okay. So what is mean by constructor is constructor will be given with the same name as a class name. Okay. So constructor will be automatically executed at the time of compilation. There is no necessity that we need to create any particular object for executing the constructor. Okay. So all the default statements for any particular objects or any particular methods can be defined inside the constructor. So constructor is going to be it will be just acting like a static methods. Okay, static நம்ம கொடுப்போம் இல்லைங்களா, அதே மாதிரி தான் constructor என்ன பண்ணும், the constructor will be automatically executed. Okay, so there is no need to create any particular objects for executing the constructor. Okay, so every time an object is created using the new keyword, so at least one constructor is called. So it calls a default constructor if there is no constructor available in the class. So there are two type of constructor basically. One is called as a default constructor, the other one is called as a parameterized constructor. So just wait for a second. Let me project my whole screen and then I will be starting the explanation part. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma. Please wait for me. I'll just start projecting the thing. So this is my notepad, right? So I have taken a notepad. Just I have opened a notepad here. So for creating any particular Java, Java file, we will be creating the class, right? So here I'm giving keyword called class. Okay, so always I will be using a class keyword for defining any particular class. So here the class name is called cons. Okay, so after defining the class name, I'm going to give a default constructor. So my default constructor is, how I will be defining the default constructor is, it will be the same name of a class name. Okay, so always the constructor name will be specified with the same name of the class name. Once again, let me just store this file. Let me take my location for storing the file. So I have taken and I have given my file name to be the class name called cons.java. So now I'm saving this file. Okay, so cons is my constructor. Okay, so constructor na eppadi kudupen, class name enavo and the class name kudutittu I will be giving open and close brackets. Okay, so it will be similarly like a function, but this constructor will not return anything. Okay, so it will not return anything. So here I'm just giving the opening bracket and I am giving system dot out dot println. It is going to print I am from constructor cons. Okay, it is going to print like this. Then what happened, I'm going to close this constructor. Now simply I'm giving public static void main. Okay, then as usual I will be giving string args, then simply I have concluded. So let us see how this will be working. This is called as a default constructor. Why I am telling it as a default constructor? It is not going to take any values as a parameter. So if it is going to take any value as a parameter, then it is called as a parameterized constructor. ஓகேங்களா, ஏதாவது parameters உள்ள எடுத்துக்கிச்சு அப்படின்னா it is called as a parameterized constructor, and if it does not take any parameters as a input, it is called as a default constructor. Okay, so this is the simple example of how can we define a constructor. So let us just compile this. I'm opening the command prompt. So inside that I have to give my location of the file. So mine will be at the desktop. Okay, I will be storing with my name, the folder with my name. Then inside that I have a separate folder for storing all the classes. Okay, so this is a location. Now உங்களுக்கு நேத்து சொல்லி கொடுத்தேன் இல்லைங்களா, yesterday we were discussing about two things to set the path. I have set the path permanently here. Okay, so that is why I'm giving just like that. Okay, so permanent நான் செட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், அதனால தான் நான் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கேன், டைரெக்டாகவே இதில் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். So for compilation you will be using java c file name const.java. So I haven't given system க்கு m கொடுக்காம விட்டுருக்கேன். So that is the error here. So I have given now. After all the changes I have to save. So now my program has been compiled. Compile ஆயிடுச்சு. இப்போ நான் வந்து execute பண்ணா என்ன பண்ணுவேன், java file name கொடுப்பேன். So java file name கொடுத்தா my constructor has been created and it consists of certain value. Okay, so it has to be printed here. So the default constructor will be executed while creating the object for the class. Okay, so நான் இங்க என்ன பண்றேன், cons ன்னு கொடுத்துட்டு I'm giving the class name called c1 equal to new cons. Okay, so this is how I will be creating the object for the class. Okay, so இப்போ நான் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கேன், object create பண்ணியிருக்கேன் எதுக்கு, classக்கு. Okay, for the class cons I have created the object. Okay, so now let us execute it once again, then it will be printing the value. See, it printed the value as I am from constructor cons. Okay, so this is a default constructor. So when the constructor will be executed while creating the object for the class, okay, not for the constructor, while creating the object for the class, the constructor will be automatically created. Okay, so then it prints certain value as its output. Clear? So this is called as a default constructor. புரிஞ்சுச்சுங்களா? So constructor அப்படின்னா என்னது, every time an object is created using a new keyword, whenever an object is created using a new keyword, then at least one constructor will be created. So it calls a default constructor if there is no constructor available in the class. So நம்ம இப்ப constructor கொடுக்கலன்னா என்ன பண்ணும்? Okay, so if we don't have any constructors, then what it will be doing, it will be creating the, your compiler will be automatically created a constructor like this. சரிங்களா, இப்போ நான் constructor கொடுக்கலன்னா என்ன பண்ணும், the compiler will be automatically created a default constructor like this before executing the program. Okay, so that is what told here. So it calls a default constructor if there is no constructor available in the class. So there are two type of constructors in Java. So the first one is called as a no argument constructor. So this is called as the no argument constructor. So this constructor does not take any arguments inside the brackets. This is called as a no argument constructor, and the other is called as a parameterized constructor. So meaning that inside this bracket it will take certain values as its parameter. Okay, so this is the major difference between the default constructor and parameterized constructor. So this is the explanation of how constructors will be used. So there are basically two type of constructors in Java. So the first type of constructor is called as a default constructor, which does not take any arguments as an input. So the second thing is called as a parameterized constructor, where it will be taking certain parameters as its input and it will be producing certain output. Okay, so these are all the two type of constructors. So this is an example of default constructor. You can write this or you can write what I have created. எது வேணாலும் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து இதுதான் எழுதணுன்ற எந்த நெசசிட்டியுமே கிடையாது. So if you are well versed with your program and concept, you can write your own program. Okay, so இங்க என்ன எழுதிக்கோம், class bike1 அப்படின்னு எழுதிக்கேன். So let me just copy this and let me just show you how it works. இதையே நீங்கள் எக்ஸாம்பிளாக எழுதலாம். ஓகேங்களா, இங்கே நான் கமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். திஸ் இஸ் சிங்கிள் லைன் கமெண்ட். ஓகே, கமெண்ட்டை எடுத்துட்டு இதையே நீங்கள் எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ணி இதையே நீங்கள் வந்து டிஃபால்ட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்டருக்கு எக்ஸாம்பிளாக யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். or else you can write this program. Okay, so it is an optional one. According to your wish you can do. So here program is called as bike1.java. Okay, so here class is defined. Okay, so here class is defined. So class is a keyword for defining the class bike1. Okay, so class நம்ம define பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா predefined என்ன keyword கொடுப்போம், class ன்னு கொடுப்போம். So behind that you will be giving the class name. After that we are creating a default constructor. So the default constructor, what is the rule for creating the default constructor? Here class name should be used for creating the constructor name. Okay, it should not have any return type. So your constructor should not have any return type. If it has a return type, then it becomes like a function. Okay, so constructor does not have any return type like void, int or float, etc. Okay, so constructor will be created with the same name of a class name followed by open and close bracket. So inside the flower brackets we will be defining system.out.println as bike is created. Then we are going to create a main method. So inside the main method we are going to create a object called b for the class bike1. So if you do like this, it will be automatically initiated. That is, the default constructor will be automatically initiated while creating the object for any particular class, and it will be executed and the output will be given as bike is created. Okay, so let us execute this example and see how it works.